Hi everyone, I'm Arglefump. In this video I'll show how to get all the various spirits and the elusive objects in Grim Legends, The Forsaken Bride. So elusive objects are basically morphing objects. You see this here? You see how the little house appeared? That's an elusive object. There are 28 elusive objects in total. When you find one, it gives you a little bit of story here. Now for the little fairy spirits. I'm gonna have to skip this cutscene here. The first fairy spirit is right over here. You can click on it, see? It's a little fairy spirit. So, like the elusive objects, these spirits are found in the background just as you play through the game. The next elusive object is in the moon on this screen. At the shrine, the elusive object is over here. See where the face is? Yeah, that face turns into some people. That's your elusive object. And we also have a fairy. Just zoom in on this area. The fairy is lying on a leaf in the grass. This screen has an elusive object on the moon. It's that little branch of the tree. And it has a fairy spirit over here, just to the right of this machine. On this screen, the elusive object is a moon. You can see it changes from a full moon to a partial moon, like that. And then over here, we have a fairy. Moving on to the forests, we have a fairy over here. And the elusive object is going to be here in the branches of that tree. When you're by the castle, the elusive object is right there. It's a little bear shield. And the fairy is over here, right next to this vial. On this screen, we have a collectible here. And we have a fairy over here. In the main hall, the elusive object is over here.
The abyss.
And as soon as she stops talking, we can see the fairy, which is hidden over here. That's where the fairy is on that screen. In the library, we have another heart for an elusive object. It appears right here. We'll give it a moment. There it is. There it is. And then the fairy is on the ground near the table. On this screen, the elusive object is going to be here. Aha! Found it. Whereas the fairy spirit is hiding in the grass. We go into the tree. The elusive object is there. Uh-huh. And you need to actually solve the puzzle of growing this plant before you can get the fairy. The fairy's over there. In the courtyard, the elusive object is here, whereas the fairy spirit is over here. In the tower, the elusive object is by the window. Yeah, see? The dark phantom in the window! And it's right next to the fairy. The fairy is right next to the painting. So the two of them are just right next door to each other. By the windmill, the elusive object is that hand, and the fairy spirit is over here, by this hidden entrance. Inside the windmill, the elusive object is going to appear over here. And the fairy spirit is down there. Yeah, there's the elusive object. It's a little ring. So, upstairs over here, we have the fairy spirit in that spot, and the elusive object in that spot. There is an elusive object here. Here in the cellar, an elusive object is a bear right there, and we have the spirit fairy down here. On this screen, the spirit fairy is here, and the elusive object is a bear. pretending to be part of the ceiling support. On this screen, the elusive object is here, and the spirit fairy is over here. Once again, they're fairly close to each other. On this screen, the elusive object is over here. The fairy is in here, but we can't open this area yet. It's 15 to 20 minutes later before you can open that cabinet and get the fairy. On this screen, the elusive object is here by that tree, and the fairy is over here. When you're by the tree, the elusive object is in the moon. Very hard to see. And the fairy is tucked in the arm of the evil statue. In this room, the spirit fairy is on the table. The elusive object is on the shield. In this room, the elusive object is, right there. And the spirit fairy is right here, standing on that guy's shoulder. Inside the abyss, the final elusive object is here. Whenever it decides to show up, there it is! Okay, we found all the elusive objects, hooray! Let me get the fairy here. That's a very well-hidden fairy spirit. Only 3 more. But now that we've got all the elusive objects, let's hear the story. We want to hear the entire story from the start.
Within the shadow of an ancient forest, on the bottom of the foggy valley, stands a lonely village of Ravenbrook. There lives the folk, cheerful and diligent, yet warily superstitious. They've surrounded the village with countless charms and keep close to them, especially at night. For on the other side of the forest, there lies a seemingly bottomless pit known as the Abyss. This is the place the villagers fear most. Within the creeping mist and ghostly light, in the furthest depths of the abyss, foul spirits lurk. No one in their right mind goes to the abyss, and certainly not when the moon is full and the spirits grow anxious. Not very far from this mystical place stands the castle of Haugwitz. The Haugwitzes were an old, proud family, noble. They isolated themselves to the outside world with their high walls and narrow bridges. But there is no drawbridge long enough, nor curtain wall thick enough to hold back the power of true love. For when 2 loving hearts burn faithfully as one, no barrier in the world can keep them apart. And that is how a young noble boy and a beautiful girl from the village fell deeply in love. They kept their affection secret, knowing their love could condemn them. They snuck out every night to the windmill for a few short, precious hours together. Knowing their love would never be accepted, they decided to run away. But they were betrayed. Someone informed the Baroness, the young master's overbearing mother. The Baroness locked her son in the tower, and the broken-hearted girl went to the edge of the abyss to plead her case to whom or whatever would listen. In a moment of fiery anger, she threw her wedding ring over the edge and spoke a few reckless words. Oh, how those words would come back to haunt her. The evil spirit at the bottom of the pit gave her curses a binding power, striking the young Master Haugwitz down and changing him into a bear. Man to bear, bear to man, he changed form like the wind changes direction. The young man was doomed to be a shapeshifter. Fearing he would never hold his lover again, young Haugwitz escaped his prison, but en route to the village, he changed once more in permanence. His ripped clothes and bare tracks left a damning trail behind him. The villagers thought their liege had been eaten by a foul beast, a giant, monstrous bear. They saw her looking on when they discovered the mess and blamed her. They accused her of witchcraft and banished her to the forest. Lost, alone, and exiled, she desperately thought of taking her own life. But one thing kept her alive. Her womb was quickening, the fruit of her forbidden affair, all that was left of her beloved. 2 sweet babes, now growing in her belly. Fearing the evil that lay in wait deep in the abyss, as well as the villagers, she began to learn witchcraft in hopes of finding a way to protect her children. She had 2 beautiful baby girls, but she knew they were not safe, so she gave them up, leaving them in a basket on the side of the road.
Yet destiny cannot be cheated, nor curse given by the evil spirits of the abyss. Baby girls grow up, and the spirit has returned for what was promised. Alright, so that's basically the backstory to the game. That's what you get for finding all the elusive objects. In the bonus game, we have 1 fairy over here on the left. We have a fairy over here on the right. The final spirit fairy is over here. I wonder what we get for finding all these spirit fairies. What do we get? Do we get something cool? Alright, you can click on them to learn what their names are. I guess I can do that. Sure, I'll click on all of them. I was kind of hoping for another fun story, though. Moving on to the center. And now for the last group of fairies. And there we go. Those are all the various spirits in Grim Legends, The Forbidden Bride, also all the elusive objects. Thank you very much for watching my video.